to stage.
Yeah.
All right.
So now we're good.
We're live.
All right.
So,
Everybody, thank you for joining us again. Jake and Greg with Bearded Embroidery going through the Kimberbell Mystery Quilt. Today we are doing February's blocks, and it actually has a couple to do, so a total of 4. Jake will show them right now. We're going to be doing 2 of each of them. So 2 mushrooms, 2 snails. What do they need?
so for the mushroom, you're going to need some of that flexi foam, which is available in that embellishment kit. So if you do not have an embellishment kit, we do have a few available still. Not sure how much longer those will be available. And then if you ordered a fabric kit from us, you'll have that red polka dotted fabric, this kind of cream fabric, and then your background fabric, which we fuse some stabilizer on as well. And then if you're doing the, what do they call it, the quilting option that we're doing, you're going to need some batting as well to go in between that. And then for the snail block, you're going to have a couple fabrics as well. So a white and a tan looking one. You're going to need more flexi foam. And then this is new. So this is that green jelly mylar, or whatever you want to call it. This is going to be on the snail's body. And then same thing, we got the yellow polka dotted fabric that's going to, we've already fused some stabilizer on the back as that as well. Then you're going to need batting for that as well if you're doing the quilting. And then you're also, for the mushroom, going to need some topping, some water soluble topping for when you stitch out the dots on the mushroom, just to kind of keep those stitches raised, hopefully prevent that red from showing through your cream thread. We're going to need 5 threads for this. 3 of them, so there's red, green, and brown, are in the thread kit. We do not currently have any of those, but we can order them. And then you will also need a cream colored thread and a charcoal thread, which are not included in the thread kit, but it's a pretty common color, so you probably have it. Anything else?
I think that's it. So we are going to go ahead and get started. It might not be streaming to Facebook, which is streaming to YouTube, so it'll be fine.
It's all good.
Yeah.
We'll post it on our Facebook group later.
Yes. So which are we going to start with, the snail or the mushroom?
What do you want to start with?
We'll do the mushroom. The one that I think is the easier one first.
Okay.
Get that. So we're going to load up our cream thread. We're using the Baby Lock Meridian 2 today. So with a 5x7 magnetic hoop.
Magnetic hoops are awesome.
These magnetic hoops are awesome. Before we do that, we should actually load up our design as well. So since we are doing the quilting in the hoop as we go, we need to load that up first. So you have 2 options with this month, kind of a flowery background or a background that's the snails and mushrooms. We're going to go ahead and go with that one. We load that first, and then we are going to add the mushroom on top of it. Making sure they're centered on each other. My machine did it for me pretty easily, so we are good to go ahead and hop right into embroidery. And the first thing we're going to be sewing down is the batting placement line. So you can hand me a piece of batting. very square cut.
Does not need to be perfect. Just needs to be bigger than your placement line.
Yeah, we'll be given plenty of excess room. All right, so we're going to go ahead and put that batting on and sew it down. Going to be doing quite a bit of trimming today with some odd materials. The foam, we're going to be trimming a couple times, so you have to be pretty careful with it. And just take your time trimming it. Do a couple triple stitch. All right, and it is time to trim. So whenever we take our hoop out of the machine, we always want to hold on to whatever attaches it so that we're not moving the belts as we pull it out and getting the hoop out of alignment. Also make sure to grab by the edge of the hoop, not any stabilizer or anything like that, so you don't get the pattern off by just a little bit.
All right, so I'm just trimming some of this excess batting off as close to the stitching as possible without cutting your stabilizer, and then just making sure we're on a flat surface. So like Greg said, if there's anything pushing up from the back, your hooping can get distorted, and then your design is off.
All right, and we are all good and trimmed up. Loading it back onto the machine, same thing. I want to grab the front of where I'm loading it so I don't push those belts forward. It is time to put down our background fabric. We're going to put it down. I cut it pretty large, but we're still going to try and tape it down, just to help it hold in place.
You do it. Get in the back.
If I could get this tape. There we go. More piece. I want to go faster. There we go. You know what? I think I skipped a step. It's going to do a placement line first. Although it's pretty obvious where it's going to place.
Yeah, well, your piece is plenty big, so
Yes.
it is pretty obvious where it's going to go to. You just put batting there.
Yep. Yeah, I believe the piece is supposed to be 6.5 by 6.5. I cut a little bit bigger than that, just to make sure. So now it should be the actual placement line. Or
Your tack down.
the tack down line, yes.
Exact same spot.
Yep. We just got 4 stitches holding it down.
Yeah, we're good. Solid.
I guess 2. I thought it would do a triple stitch, but guess not. Now we are doing the quilting part of it.
And we're still using our cream.
Still using your cream or whatever will blend well with your background if you're not following along with the fabric kit. We need to tear some of it off. We can do that maybe. That'd probably be a good idea. One of these times when we trim it. Let's see. First step is going to that foam is actually going to be one of the first things I need. Yes, the bigger piece.
Any comments?
Not good. All right. Woo! So now we are done with the block by block quilting. If you are just doing the design and then quilting it all at the end, those would be all steps that you skip. So now we're going to go on to the first part of the actual block, and we are going to do the mushroom cap placement line. Doesn't matter which thread I use here, so I'm just going to stay with my cream because I don't want to do a color change right now. And now we are going to use that foam, placing it over that placement line and then taping it down. This foam I'm going to tape down a little bit more securely than the fabric. The pressure foot really pushes on that foam and I don't want it to move. Need to get another roll of tape. Yeah.
Put this in mark out.
Actually, we have another one right there.
Oh, we do?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, we're satisfied with that. That's not moving. So we're going to go ahead and place it down with our tack down line. Then I will need
Forget. Tape there a little bit.
this gray fabric. Now we get to have fun trimming the foam, though. I should say Jake gets to have fun trimming the foam. Well, do you want these curved, or do you like those for it? Yeah. And you should also tear away some of the side. You should tear away some of the side to let them see better.
Yeah. Not block their view.
Yeah. So this foam is a little tricky to trim down because if you try and cut at an angle, it's thick enough that you'll have a lot coming off the bottom. So you got to kind of try and go straight up as much as you can.
Let's see what you. Yeah.
Take your time because we want to make sure that we don't move that fabric or that stabilizer at all in the hoop. We're pretty early in the process, but we don't want to have to restart plus this foam. You have to cut it a little carefully. They don't give you a crazy amount of extra.
Yeah, it's used for multiple blocks in this.
Yeah.
The tips of the scissors keep like stabbing into it.
Yep. You got it. There we go. You want to clean up one of the sides. It is tearaway.
Huh?
It is tearaway, I think.
Yeah. It's all good. I don't want it to get too short though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. All right. That should give you guys a better view. Holding on to the arm as I put it in. And now we are doing the placement line for the stem. It's kind of nice. This starts out with a cream satin stitch. So I'm not doing a color change, even on my first satin stitch, which is very nice.
And no color change yet.
Yeah. All right. Placing the fabric for the stem down on that stitch line. And taping it down.
Tape is your friend.
I cut all my pieces a little big on this one because this is such a tiny stem for such a big piece of fabric. A lot of extra.
The tiny stem.
Yeah.
So you cut the piece bigger?
By about a ½ inch each way.
Okay.
And now we're taking it out again to trim. That magnet was catching on the needle blade.
Once again, trim this as close as you can to that stitch line, being careful that you don't push too hard on the hoop so it moves the design in the hoop. You don't want to cut too close so you cut your stitches though.
Especially around that foam.
Yeah. The foam,
gotta make sure you don't get your
definitely
scissors
take
stuck.
your time on the foam. This is a big piece of fabric for this.
Yeah, it is. And now we are doing the satin stitch. It's going to be one of the longer steps of this piece, or this block. All right, so while this is doing the satin stitch, what do we got coming up?
The most recent thing coming up is February 10th. The brown bag mystery is starting. So all of our kits will be going live then. Carol and Kathy will be going live, I believe, at 6 a.m.
Yep.
on that Monday morning to show all the kits live. So if you wanted to join in on that, you'll get the first look at those brown bag mystery kits. For those of you who do not know what the brown bag mystery is, it is a program through Karen Montgomery, and it's kind of a double mystery. So the kits themselves that we put together, the fabric kits, we are allowed to show you one fabric that's in there. The rest of the fabric in the kit is a mystery to you. The kind of second mystery of that is the pattern itself. So Karen Montgomery will be doing a live, I think, sew along on the 9 Patch a Day group on Facebook. And we will be physically mailing out a clue every 2 weeks. So there'll be 5 clues we mail out to you about the pattern. So it's a pretty fun double mystery thing. Yeah, so make sure you join that.
And those kits go live when exactly? It's 12 o'clock then.
The 10th, probably at midnight. Or
yeah. All right, so now we have to do our first color change. We are switching to our black or charcoal for one step. We're going to be switching off it right away. There we go.
The magical.
The never miss.
Needle threader.
And we are good to start stitching. It's going to be a really short step. Just adding some detail to that satin stitch. Yep. All right, I'm going to trim this just a little bit.
So we had a little tail that didn't get sucked to the bottom. I'm going to trim that off. If you're going to do any trimming, make sure the machine is not running. Bad things can happen.
And now we have to do another color change. So that's the extent of the black that we're going to use on the mushroom. Pretty intense. And now it doesn't matter what color, but we're going to go to red because we're going to be using that later.
So are we preparing to
Yes.
applique?
We will be putting the placement line for
red
the
fabric.
Red fabric, yep, the cap. Sorry, I got stuck on something there.
Going too fast.
I don't know what I was stuck on. All right, now it's doing the cap placement line. Yeah, there. All right, and this is my first year being here while we're doing brown bag. Kits are, once they're gone, we have like very limited supply of the one fabric we show, right?
Yeah, so of any of the kits, we only probably have a few available of that exact kit.
So if you see it and you really like that fabric, that's why you got to be there early
on it, because there's probably even some kits we have that we literally can only make one kit of.
Yeah.
So they're unique to us, which is cool. So you're not going to get the same thing at any of the other shops participating. But yeah, it's pretty fun.
Yeah. So now we had that placement line down. We are going to be putting the red fabric on top of it and taping it down.
Well, you guys are coming through good on YouTube.
Cool.
I don't know why it's not going to Facebook, but
You don't have to do that custom something or other.
every time.
We can set it to use the same key, right?
Yeah, but I don't know if it uses the same URL.
Mm.
One last time for the mushroom trimming.
Lots of trimming on these little guys.
Oh yeah. So these are quicker blocks, pretty small, pretty easy, but that's why you're doing 4 of them this month instead of the 2 that we did last month and the 2 ladybugs we did.
Yeah, so far we've done 2 of every block that we've done, correct?
Yes. Should remain the same throughout the entire time.
Once again, cut as close to the stitching line as possible. Make sure on a flat surface so that you do not get your design off.
Want to make sure you're using good sharp scissors for this, that you can get in there. Want to have as little fraying as possible, so nothing pokes up through that satin stitch that we are going to be doing right now.
Yeah, so we like these pretty far away, but we like these kind of double curved scissors. So they're curved at the tip, but also curved at the handles here. So the curve on the blade helps you get kind of nice and flat around that.
Yeah. So the 10th, what day is that? Is that Monday?
Monday.
Yeah, okay, so that's Monday. And then also next week, we have a long arm test drive event.
Yeah, February 12th from 1 to 4.
So if you are at all interested in long arming or getting a long arm, coming in, and we are working with Angie Dugan from the Quilted Connection up in Wisconsin, going over both Handy Quilter and APQS long arms. From 1 to 4, you said?
1 to 4, yep.
1 to 4. It is free to attend, so if you have any interest at all in potentially getting a long arm, learning about long arms, that kind of thing, just go ahead and sign up online. That's 14th. Is that the Friday?
It's the 12th.
Or it's the 12th. Okay. Wednesday. Get Mondays off. While this is going, I'm going to trim a little bit of this. Topping. All right, so now we're going to do a color change first. We're going back to the cream. This is the final step before trimming the actual block out to size. We're going to be doing the spots on the mushroom. I already got some. So with putting these spots on this mushroom, we're going to be using some topping. They recommend a white topping in their instructions to stop that red from coming up through the satin stitch that we're putting down, or the stitch that we're putting down. We are just going to be using this clear, water soluble.
Yeah. So it's a water soluble tapping. And I think it worked pretty good.
Yeah.
Just to keep those stitches from sinking down in. Just kind of lay more on top of the fabric.
That's good.
Oh,
Surprised
I forgot about the ringtone.
I'm surprised it took that long.
We are in the store, so.
Yeah. This stuff I'm gonna really tape down. That's what that's supposed to. Stuff is pretty thin and will like to move around, so I just want to make sure it's pretty secure. We're going to call that good. Especially with that foam and how hard the presser foot pushes down into it, there's a chance that the foot tears some of that topping. What's going on there?
I'm not going to tell. We'll trim it after.
I think I could get some scissors in there.
Not recommended.
That would be awful.
Although Greg can fix it for you.
I could.
You wouldn't need stitches, they're already right there.
Yeah.
You're having that. I mean, at least a broken needle there.
Yeah. Hopefully not anything worse.
Hopefully not. But that's why we don't stick scissors under the needle.
A moving machine.
Yeah. All right. We're wasting all our topics on this one, but what else? What's next? After the long arm test drive, what's next to talk about? You got quite a bit of stuff coming up.
So February 13th, if you own Quilt Path or Quilter's Creative Touch, which would be used on a Juki long arm, we are having a class on that. I believe it's $200. It's all day from 9:30 to 4. But if you did order Quilt Path from us recently and bought it through us, we are giving this class for free. So if you have purchased Quilt Path from us recently, make sure you give us a call. We can get you in that class at no charge. And then kind of along those lines, February 14th, there is a Handy Quilter Play Day. So if you own a Handy Quilter or just got a Handy Quilter, this is a day to come and ask questions and learn about Handy Quilter. It is $10, I believe. That's just to kind of cover our cost for lunch. So it is going to be from 9:30 to 2. And yeah,
Going over, come talk about Handy Quilter. Machine maintenance, but also meeting everyone else that has a handy quilter, kind of getting in the handy quilter community.
Yes. Ask questions. Give your input on questions because everybody can learn from everybody, which is nice. So,
Oh yeah, especially with long arming.
yeah.
Almost there.
One more class. Well, there's a couple more in February here. So, February 25th, we're doing a jelly roll rug class. So, if you've never made a jelly roll rug, now's the time to learn. So, February 25th from 9:30 to 4. And let me see what we got. So the cost on that class is $30. That's going to include the pattern and the tool. And then if you come to that class, we are also giving a 20% discount on any jelly roll if you need to purchase one that day. So come join that February 25th from 9:30 to 4 for jelly roll rug class.
All right, and we are done with the embroidery of this block. Take it off. I'm going to trim that little tail that we had. What's really nice about this topping is it tears away. There's no trimming, cutting, anything like that we have to do.
And all of these classes and events we're talking about, you can sign up on our webpage, fabricbash.com. If you go there, and then at the top, there's a classes and events tab. And then you can sort by month and select, go into each one and purchase on our website, get you in the class. There's some strong magnets.
Yeah, they are. There we go.
All right. There it is. So the last step, I believe, of this so far is to just trim this down to 4.5 by 4.5.
Pretty flat surface. You want to hoop this smoothly. Let's get those scissors out of there. So now we won't need the red thread anymore. So we can put that off to the side. We will just need the charcoal, cream, brown, and light green. Again, the brown and the light green will be in your thread kit.
There's some snappy magnets.
Yep.
Try to move it mostly to that one side. Should I have to trim anything down?
And we're going to go ahead and start with the cream thread again, because we are doing the background embroidery. And we're going to actually delete both of these things. I'm just going to go ahead and keep the same quilting background, so I don't have to delete that. I can just add, that was the wrong button. I could just add the snail on top of it.
Yeah.
Making sure they are centered on top of each other. My machine did a pretty good job of it. So we're going to go into embroidery. And first we're going to stitch the batting placement line.
big enough.
I think so.
We got more.
Do have more. All right, it's plenty big.
All right.
Plenty big. I can tape this down. I'm just gonna make sure it's a little flat. I cut that background so big.
Hmm?
The background.
Oh yeah. I would be careful cutting it that big because I don't know if we use this fabric for some other stuff. So if you got the fabric kit from us, try and cut your pieces what it's telling you, just to make sure you have enough. We here have access to the bolts of fabric, so Greg's being a little more generous.
Most of the bolts. We're still waiting on that one.
We started waiting on a few, I think.
I think we're down to just one.
I think there's a few.
I thought it was just the main background that we're waiting on.
I think there's a couple.
You can call it how it is. Gary's just not as good at embroidery.
Uh-huh.
So you could call it how it is. Gary's just not as good at his embroidery.
It's all good. Trim this batting down pretty close to the stitch line, just like we've always been doing. Careful not to cut your stabilizer underneath. Also, put it on a level surface.
Holding onto the arm as I put the hoop back in. And I'm going to put that background fabric on. I don't have any spare threads on it. It's just taping it to the hoop. Which is fine.
Yeah, I'd stick a little better.
Yeah.
What else we got going on? So February 27th, we are having a Serger event in store here. That is our t-shirt scarf event. So you're going to be bringing like 12 to 14 t-shirts, some really good scissors, and then your willingness to learn. So we're actually providing the serger for you, so you do not need to bring a serger or anything.
I did it again.
Did it again, didn't you?
I did it again. We
Well,
didn't do the placement line.
You know where it's going. So, but yeah, don't need to bring the serger. So this event is for anybody who's interested in learning how to use the serger, and then also learning or seeing if they really like it. The potential to buy a serger. So we'll have some really good deals. But that is February 27th from 9 to 4. Kathy and Eva, I believe, are going to be teaching that.
Yes.
And it should be pretty fun to
Making a scarf
out of t-shirts.
Yeah.
What's
t-shirts
cool is
and
you
I think
can
a
leave
sweater.
you can use like a hoodie or something. Use the pockets at the bottom, put your hands in. It's pretty cool.
All right, so we have done both the placement and the tack down line. We are now going to be doing the quilting. In the background.
And that serger event is 35 minutes.
And is it an all-day class?
Yeah, 9 to 4.
Okay. Yeah, February we got quite a few different classes going on. Is that it in February?
There is. Anybody? Hold on. So we are doing, or Kathy is doing on February 28th from 2 to 3:30, so just an hour and a half. It's calling out our Bash Squad Long Arm Guild meeting. So this is for anybody who owns any sort of long arm. You're going to come in, you're going to meet everybody, you're going to build a community, and you're going to talk everything long arming. I believe this is going to be geared probably more towards like free motion would be my guess, and just talking generic long arming stuff. So that is February 28th from 2 to 3:30. And then if you are interested in learning how to quilt, we do have our beginning quilting boot camp coming up February 28th. So it'll be the 28th, which is Friday from 5 to 8. And then it'll be March 1st all day, which is Saturday, and then Sunday, probably at least half a day. But what's really cool is you get to walk away with a completed quilt top, and you've learned how the basics of quilting.
And you get to walk away.
Yeah,
with a
I
completed
should
quilt.
be taking it.
Yeah.
So February 28th,
Why aren't you taking it, Greg?
I took the last one. I already took it.
and that class is
Likely story.
$100. And yeah, Greg did take it the last time.
Yes. The quilt is half done. So we're going to be putting the placement line for the flexi foam or the shell of the snail. So again, first step, we're not doing a color change or anything. It's going to be the foam first. Get that out of the way. It's a little bit hard to see where the placement line is on the quilting, but thank you, sir. Welcome. Once again, taping this stuff down.
Very poofy foam.
Yeah. It's 1/4 inch thick, I think. So definitely adds a lot of texture, but we got to make sure we tape it down well because of that. I would probably get a little bit wider tape, but
Yeah.
if you're careful enough, this stuff will work. We don't have to worry about sewing through the tape. It is not the end of the world. You get a few stitches in there, it all tears out. Like that.
Stop. Yeah. Just so you don't run it over.
Right after Jake gets done talking about the safety of not grabbing stuff while the thing is going, Greg
I paused it. I paused it.
runs and starts grabbing. And
I paused it. I paused it. I was going to pause it anyway. Wasn't even paying attention to you guys. We just got a little closer so it's easier to trim for Jake. I didn't exactly center it very well on that placement
No,
mark.
apparently not.
I didn't actually do very good there.
Again, I'm making it easier for Jake.
Sure. So once again, be very careful trimming this foam. Take your time. Especially if you have these sharp pointed scissors that like to stab into it.
Yeah. And you don't want to stab through the fabric underneath or the stabilizer or anything like that. Especially if you're not doing the quilting. At this point, you don't have that batting underneath, so it could be pretty easy to pierce through the fabric and stabilizer. And that's where the curve of these scissors comes in really nice. So he doesn't have the bottom of the foam sticking out pretty far. Because if you cut at an angle, that really will stick out with how thick it is.
Yes. So there might be some places.
What?
There might be some places where it sticks out a little bit.
A little bit is fine. We'll get a couple layers of fabric and a couple of satin stitches over it. So
I don't know if you made this easier to cut.
I think I did.
Sure. I think it'll do.
Perfect. Holding the arm as we put it back on. And now we are doing the body placement line. Still just on that cream thread. Placement lines, it really doesn't matter what color you use. You could switch a little bit earlier to color match, just in case you're worried about any of that color coming through that fabric, but cream would be hard too. Yep, that gray cream, whatever.
It's white to me.
There's no right side. They're both gray.
It's a solid, I think. Solid fabric.
Oh, wow. Yeah, we used up all this tape.
Is that even?
Is that just tape?
What's going on here?
What is it?
I don't know.
Can't even get good help.
Says the guy who doesn't know how to center.
It worked.
It did work. You're right. It was not easier though.
I think. This is different. This is different tape.
Is it?
Yeah, this isn't tape. This is just fusible on one side, I think.
Is it? I'll have to go find some tape, huh? It is.
We're gonna be resorting to painter's tape.
No, I think I gotta go out here though, real quick.
Good luck.
I don't know how much catching there was there.
Easy.
All right, so how's Jake's gone? What do we got coming up? Well, March 5th, they were doing a Pro Stitcher beginner class and an advanced class. So if you've purchased a Pro Stitcher from us recently, you get this class for free. Besides that, let me pull up how much it is.
Here, move over.
It is $250.
Move over.
Ooh, we're getting Mark on.
I'll help out here. So what do we get at the Pro Stitcher class?
Pro Stitcher class, the beginner one, is going to tell you all about how to set up a pantograph and quilt that pantograph. Angie Dugan is coming down from the Quilted Connection. She has been a Hindi quilter dealer for a long, long time, and she knows everything there is to know about Pro Stitcher. So she is coming down to teach that class.
Yeah, so March 5th
Yes.
is the beginner,
Mm-hmm.
and the 6th is the advance.
Yes. So if you have purchased a Pro Stitcher from us, just go ahead and give us a call and we'll get you into that for free. Otherwise, it is $250. Wow, this tape is a lot better.
That is Kimberbell tape.
It's not fusible on one side, so I don't have to peel it off.
The other stuff, it was a little older, probably.
Yes, that stuff was probably less sticky because it was old. So maybe if I had this tape, the foam wouldn't have come up.
Maybe. Probably don't need to use as long of a piece either.
No. We are taking it off and trimming it.
Trimming it.
And while he does that, I'm going to go ahead and do a color change
Tape does stick pretty well.
to green.
Also could maybe reuse it.
You could maybe reuse it.
So cut close to this stitching line. Without cutting anything else. Take your time. These curved scissors help get pretty close.
Luckily, there's not as many sharp points as like last month's block. The cut trimming is a lot easier this month.
That is for sure.
Last month had a lot of flower petals that I didn't have to trim, so I was happy. But
Want nice sharp scissors so it doesn't leave frayed edges, because that will poke through your satin stitch. I mean, it's not the end of the world. It just doesn't maybe look quite as good as it could. All right.
all right, so we switched that green color. We are now doing the satin stitch. Yeah, the satin stitch and the eyes of the snail. Our satin stitch does not exactly match the color of the bonnet. It's a cream bonnet with the green satin stitch. But that is because we're going to be placing the other material from the embellishment kit over it. Kind of gives it a cool texture.
Call it green jelly. It's like a mylar, I think. I don't know. It's
Mylar, yeah.
plastic.
Yeah.
It does look pretty cool.
Like plasticky, rubbery kind of thing.
Yeah. And that's why they call it jelly, because it's like rubbery kind of feeling.
Yeah. It's going quick. This is probably our longest stitch of this block. What else is happening in early March? This is the longest stitch. We got to talk about something.
So March 13th, we have a block of the month demo coming up. It's on the Chatsworth book, I believe. So we have a kit available for that. So on our webpage, if you search Chatsworth, you will be able to find the kit. The class here is just a demo to get you comfortable with. Wait, so there's blog of the month demo lecture. The first one is March 13th. There's going to be one April 10th, May 8th, June 12th. And they'll be from 9:30 to 11:30, and the cost is $25. And then the next thing coming up, which is super exciting. So March 14th, which is
Pi Day.
Pi Day. We have Laura Pyland coming down to do a trunk show. So if you don't know who Laura Pyland is, she was the designer of the super popular Exploding Hearts pattern.
Yeah.
Which we are using for our Wicked kit. So if you are a fan of Wicked, go check out our Wicked kit and pre-order that. But anyways, Laura's coming down to do a trunk show on March 14th from 4 to 6. Let's see what else she's gonna do.
I believe she's signing the Wicked quilts if you want.
You can take a
well.
picture with her. She'll sign your patterns if you bring any patterns in. There'll be some exclusive sales that night. And it's not on our calendar, but I thought she was going to be doing a class the following day or two as well on one of her patterns.
I think so.
So keep an eye out for that. But Laura Pyland is super awesome. She's just down in Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
And
I mean, that pattern is awesome.
Yeah.
And obviously, it's super popular.
Oh, yeah. We'll probably be doing like a patriotic one, which will be really cool.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to do a Nebraska one, I think.
Yep.
So that'll be really fun.
And then the Wicked kit is going to keep going. Wicked's coming out again next winter.
So part 2 is coming out. It's a pretty cool quilt. Kathy thought of it. So it is using Laura Pyland's Exploding Hearts quilt pattern. We did ask her before we did this.
Oh, yeah.
She approved it. So there's no like specific instructions to put it together. I think you just follow her like scrappy instructions.
I think we give
we might send like a layout or
a
something.
link with the pattern that helps a little bit.
Yeah.
Nothing too crazy. It's gonna be unfortunate. We're gonna miss that. Be Mark and Mom.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
You'll be, making lightsabers.
Yes, sir.
It's kind of like quilting.
All right, so now we are going to be using this green mylar. Oh, not drop it. This is going just over the bunny, actually. Give me 1 second. There is no placement on it. Does that make sense? And we're going to tape it. All right, going way overkill on this.
Yeah, jeez. Just wasting tape.
We got plenty. After our last incident, I think I can use it. Gonna call that good. Still using our green. And this is a pretty big piece for this. This is the only block we'll be using, this green specifically. Definitely sounds interesting going through it. And this is left as a raw edge after we trim it. There's no satin stitch or anything that goes over this.
Okay.
So trim it pretty close.
Raw edge.
I'll trim that tail.
Oh. Trim my thread tail. Yeah, it cuts weird, man.
It does cut weird. Pretty easily, but
I was wondering if it perforates enough you could just pull it out.
I'd be afraid of pulling them out where the stitches are, though.
Yeah. Does
Still
cut.
want to keep those integrity of the stitches.
Does cut pretty easily.
Yep. And it's pretty easy to get a smooth finish on the straight lines. The curves, you have to take a little bit more care to get, because you don't want any corners left or anything like that, since it is raw edge. Potentially going back and trimming after you trim to get down those corners.
The big piece here.
Yeah. And they give you one square piece in the embellishment kit. I just cut it in half because, again, we won't need it for anything else. It's just for this block. And just want to make sure that I actually cut it smaller than what the instruction said, but
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Still have plenty of excess.
All right.
What?
Just breathing. Can I do that?
No.
Yeah. Okay. No breathing allowed.
I'm tired. I'm sleepy.
Well, wake up.
We're going to switch to brown. We're doing the shell placement line.
Make sure you throw your thread too while you're at it.
We're done with it after this. This is the last step of green, or we did the last step of green. We don't need it.
Ever again?
I don't know. I would assume so, probably. But not
All
today.
right.
That's for a problem for tomorrow.
So we're going out a little ways in the schedule, but June 5th, 6th, and 7th,
We are going out.
are vending for our first time at the Black Hills Quilt Show. So that's in Rapid City. So on June 5th, the show will open from 5 to 8. Friday, June 6th, from 9 to 5. And Saturday, June 7th, from 9 to 4. So we are driving up there to beautiful Black Hills area to vend at the Black Hills Quilt Show. We will have fabric, but also handy quilter and APQS long arms. So come see us, say hi if you're from that area. We'd love to see you, or even if you are from the Omaha area, we'd love to see you as well. To come support the Black Hills Quilt Guild.
It's got to be a great time to go to the Black Hills too.
Yeah, it'll be beautiful out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then while you're up there, not too far, go to Rushmore.
About an hour away, right?
Yeah, about an hour. Go to Custer State Park. Do the wildlife loop. Go golfing.
Go. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know.
We are also going to be up there even earlier. Wow.
You are.
Mid-March.
Greg and Mark.
We're going to be up there doing road shows for APQS long arms. We are now doing the tack down stitch for the shell. Just about there. Last time we're trimming.
Last time. Scissors cut, jeez.
I don't know if we've cut enough other stuff with them or what, but I think there's a spot in them where they don't like to cut.
Trim it nice and close on a flat surface. Careful not to cut anything else.
Yeah, push into the foam or anything like that.
It's a little tricky to trim down here by the
Mylar and the
Yeah.
foam. Yeah, get in between those two. All right. So keeping the brown thread in there, we are doing the satin stitch around the whole thing, but it's also going to do a satin stitch, kind of putting a shell design into it.
All right, last thing I want.
Gene says we got 3 minutes, so
3 minutes. One of the last things, if not the last thing, I want to talk about also in June 12th through the 14th, is the Kansas City Quilt Show. And Fabric Bash is doing a bus tour down to the quilt show. So 3 days. It looks like it's $800 double occupancy, but you do get a lot to in this price. So you get your hotels, you get your tickets to the quilt show, you get some dinners. One of the dinners will be at a theater. I think we'll be watching a show there, and then the last day on the way back, we'll stop at Fabric Chick and Sew Enchanting. So you get to do some shopping as well.
where do they sign up for that?
So to sign up for that, you would need to go to excitemytravel.com and look for the Kansas City Regional Quilt Fest tour.
Mm-hmm.
Click on that and you go sign up. There is a $100 deposit, but that should be a blast.
Oh yeah, that'll be super fun.
And I think it's filling up pretty quickly already. So that is something you are interested in.
Yeah.
Make sure you sign up sooner than later.
Which we're going to be vendors at the Kansas City Quilt Show as well.
Yes, we will.
So yeah, that'll be super fun.
That'll be the first time we've been at that show.
Yeah.
I think we're just going to be having some fabric with us.
Yeah, just bringing some wide bags,
Just
that
because
kind
we
of thing.
can't bring any machines with us.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, some wide bags, maybe pre-cuts, kits, stuff like that. Foam does add a pretty cool texture.
I do like the foam. It's nice. Just got to be careful cutting it, but if you are, it does make it look really cool, especially since it's going to be a wall hanging. Adding some texture while it's on the wall would be cool.
Yeah.
Get a little louder going through all that material.
Not too bad.
No, not too
It's just
bad.
going a lot faster.
It is. Yeah, when they say 3 minutes on this machine, I think it's a little wrong.
I mean, I don't know if it's 3 minutes of stitch time and not like if there's any pauses or
It
anything.
always
but
feels longer.
It does. We're getting close.
We are getting close. We are doing 2 more color changes for the eyes.
For little stitching.
Yes. So we are going to go to cream first. If you want to, I would say you could also do like a white here if you want those eyes to really pop. But
Sure. It is on with the white polka dots.
yeah,
So maybe they're trying to get some contrast there. I don't know.
I didn't do that pattern.
straight up. So like,
What? He's struggling cutting up the different camera over there.
Oh. One job.
Just had to hit a button.
Yeah. To be fair, it is a little confusing. Because you think you hit the button, it would switch to it. Remember the camera? Not how it works.
No, it's selecting which one to preview.
I know. I understand
And
that.
then you have to hit cut.
It confuses me. One last color change. Got to put the little smile on them and the pupils.
Yes. Because we need the cute snail that is smiling for sure.
You sound not convinced that he's smiling.
No, he's smiling. Well, it would be a little weird, not gonna lie,
What?
if there wasn't like not a face on it.
Yeah, it would be. You're right. It would be a little odd.
Yeah, Threader, man, so awesome.
It is very nice.
How many stitches is this? 200, not even probably.
It doesn't tell me, but probably not even. Maybe 100 something. All right, and there we go. We are all done with our 2 blocks. We just need to trim them down.
Yep. So this one will also be trimmed down to 4.5 by 4.5. So there is
That finished block.
finished block. So once again, you make 2 of the snail and 2 of the mushroom.
So 4
Here's
total
the-
blocks this time.
Both of those. But yeah, trim these down to 4.5 by 4.5. If you don't have the orange pop rulers, we're gonna probably do a video on those at some point.
Mhm.
Those make it a lot easier to trim down because they're like an inverted ruler. That's the correct term.
Sure.
So the center is cut out, which is nice because trying to trim these out on a regular ruler that is not cut out like this, it rocks on that thumb. So it's very hard to keep straight. Whereas this, you just set right over there, over it, kind of center it. And then this is going to cut it perfectly to 4.5 by 4.5.
I mean, even with just a satin stitch, you get a little bit of rocking, but especially with that foam, and they are very nice to have.
All right.
Yeah, we are all done with the blocks this month, so we will be back next month, probably pre-recorded, not live stream,
Probably, yes.
because I believe I'll be out of town by then.
Yes.
So, or at least getting ready to go out of town. So next month will be pre-recorded. But thank you guys for tuning in. Below, we should have the links to all of the products if you don't have the thread kit or the embellishment kit yet. Go ahead and like the video, subscribe, and then visit us at fabricbash.com.
Yeah, let us know if you have any questions in the comments.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you.